uh, this week I had a request for like heart opening, and so we're gonna focus on opening through the shoulders primarily, and then strengthening through the back body, the posterior chain, to facilitate that opening at the heart space. And then, in terms of heart space intention, I'm someone who I feel like there are ways that the practice of self-love, I think, can be kind of distorted. But when I was thinking about, like, at its core, what that practice really is pointing us towards is the intention or the goal to practice loving ourselves in process, right? Not like when I have this and this, when this is achieved, whatever future goal that we think we need to achieve to be worthy of love from others or ourselves, but the practice of loving ourselves while we're in the midst of that journey and on that path and in that process. And so today, like as we move across our yoga mats, starting at the more tangible level of the physical, right? Can I be deeply grateful and in love with the body that I have today that carries me across my yoga mat in these ways that we ask it to? And if it's not perfect, can I still be grateful, still practice love towards my physical vessel? And maybe though the physical vessel is this like very tangible tool, for some of us that is maybe a more difficult route of practicing self-love, and so perhaps you take a different approach, but just offering that out, that our practice today will maybe even just plant the seed of practicing loving ourselves in the midst of being in process, right? The setting aside of there needing to be like a milestone or a marker for when we are deserving. Yeah. So we're gonna start in the Shavasana on the back body, and we're gonna take a moment just to like ground and feel into body, breath, heart, and mind, and check in to see where we're at today. So go ahead and just find your way to the earth, finding either traditional Shavasana, arms and legs long, or just a grounded shape on your back body. As you begin to settle in, giving the effort of holding yourself up over to the earth. And as you allow your bones to get heavy, feel the earth rising up to receive you, and really trust in that support. Surrender into the ground and allow yourself to be held as you begin to breathe a little bit deeper. As you expand your breath, you feel the fullness of your inhale. And as you slow down and lengthen your exhale, feel the experience of that slow, steady, intentional, and complete breath out. Maybe right away start with gratitude for this breath and each breath today that will carry us through every moment. This rise and fall of inhale and exhale that makes today possible to us. And all the potential and possibility that is on the horizon and is still yet to come. And it's letting our breath move that gratitude throughout our bodies. And gratitude to have an able body, including any sort of quirks, stickiness, areas that maybe feel weak or sticky, and allowing that to be part of this practice of love, the uniqueness within our individual bodies. Shining the light of our focus on what we are capable of. So you take one more moment just to feel, just to tune in and check in. Noticing what's maybe making its way towards the surface. Whenever you feel ready to take a cleansing breath, so let your current breath empty all the way out first. Take a really full and expansive breath in. And you're ready, open mouth, exhale, release. And starting your Ujjayi pranayama, begin to breathe in and out of your nose, that same intention, that same fullness, that same quality of breath. And feel the breath travel through your nostrils and across the back of your throat. Feeling that powerful inner ocean of your Ujjayi pranayama. And we'll start to add in some small movements. First, just spread your fingers really wide. And can you spread your toes super wide? And start to find a little bit of movement through fingers and toes. Eventually starting to incorporate some circles through your wrists, rotation through your ankles. Just letting the movement gradually build through your body. You can take your chin side to side, starting to feel into your neck. And then follow your next breath into a full body stretch. Reach long from fingers to toes. And as you exhale, start to bring your knees into your chest. You take a moment here, incorporating any intuitive movement in your body. And then just listening to your breath. Feel a deep inhale move through your body. And the next time you exhale, let your knees tip over to the right, gentle twist. Start with just letting your bones kind of land wherever they land. That initial twist. Feel the rotation through your spine. Take a breath. And if you want to, think about scooching your left knee to stack directly on top of your right. Left hip stacks directly on top of right hip. And it's likely that your left shoulder will kind of pop off the earth, and allow that to happen. Let your left arm be heavy in space and feel how gravity starts to create that stretch through your left shoulder, maybe through your chest. Breathe into your left shoulder. Let that breath travel down your left side body. And as you exhale, slowly start to release and roll back to center. As you gather your knees to your chest, take an inhale. We'll take that same process on the second side with exhale, knees tip to the left, gentle twist. Letting them land first just naturally. Right shoulder releases back and down towards or to the earth. And start to flood your right side with a breath. Full breath into your right ribs, your right side body. Just be patient, let that breath empty all the way out first. And then maybe begin to scooch your right knee to stack over left knee, right hip to stack over left hip. And again, let your right arm kind of like float into space off the earth. So maybe your right hand, the back of your hand is still grounded, but your right shoulder is floating. Just feel gravity creating that big stretch around your entire shoulder. Taking a slow and intentional breath in. A slow, steady exhale. And slowly start to bring it back to center. One more time, knees to heart. And starting to place your feet to the earth for a bridge pose. Ground through the soles of your feet. Begin to press down before you lift your hips. Just find that push into the soles of your feet. Deep inhale. And your exhale, begin to lift your pelvis up towards the sky. Then use your next breath in to continue that lift of your hips. Trying to find an even distribution of energy and effort between both feet and the entire sole of each foot. And feel your center of strength begin to light up a little bit. Option to tuck your shoulder blades a little bit closer together behind your heart, feeling that big openness to your chest. And take 2 cycles of breath. You're feeling the back of your body nice and strong, hamstrings and glutes ignited. On your third inhale, see if there's any more lift available. And then keeping your lower body, your center strong, exhale to deliver your pelvis to the earth. Yeah. As you bring your knees back towards your body, find a little rock and roll forwards and backwards. We'll meet in our tabletop. So as you're ready, just adjusting to all fours. Bring your shoulders to stack over your wrists and your hips over your knees. And just let your fingers open really wide across the earth. And we'll start to inhale to our cow pose. Rooting through your hands, begin to lift your heart, your tailbone, maybe your chin. Think about dragging the earth towards your knees. And as you exhale, begin to push the earth down and away, rounding into your cat pose. Take this to the entire length of your spine. Thinking about tucking crown and tailbone towards each other. Feel that little bit of low belly engagement. And inhale to your cow pose one more time. Heart and tailbone scoop tall. Then moving to Anahatasana, your heart melting pose. Keep your hips high. Walk your hands out in front of you. And then dive your forehead or your chest down to the earth. Good strong arms here. As you melt towards your yoga mat, just take one breath. And allowing your forearms to land through a bend in your elbows, you're going to slither forward to a belly down Shavasana. So as you shift forward, let your hips land to the earth. Hands stack, forehead's going to rest to the backs of your hands. Just take a moment to breathe. Can you soften shoulders away from your ears? Now start to send energy down through your legs. Imagine you could reach so much energy through your toes that your legs would get like 3 inches longer. And then keeping that sense of lengthening, can you anchor through the tops of your feet, pressing the tops of your toes into the earth, engaging through your quads to your kneecaps, maybe float. Get heavy through your hips, light up your glutes, your center. And then as we inhale, we're going to start to move into a low cobra. Slide your hands back by your rib cage as you lift your chest. Stay lifted, continue to breathe, find neutral through your neck. And then a little experimentation here with the hands. See how it feels to push your hands down into the ground and then isometrically forward. So imagine you're pushing your hands down and towards the front of your yoga mat to push your elbows towards the back of your yoga mat. Maybe hug your elbows gently towards one another. And then see how it feels to press your hands down and isometrically pull the heels of your hands back towards your hip bones. Continue to reach your elbows back in space, crown of the head lengthening forward. Then that space between shoulders and ears, maybe you use the strength of your spine to lift just a little bit higher. Continue to send energy through your legs for a breath in. And then use the strength of your body to exhale your forehead to the earth. Press back through your child's pose. Reach your hips to your heels, allowing length through your spine. Just take one breath in and one breath out. Then when you're ready, begin to shift through your tabletop and find your way up and back to your downward facing dog. Giving yourself a moment just to feel into your body, maybe a really slow paddle of one heel to the earth for a breath, and switching to the opposite. Let's bend both of our knees a little extra generously. Drive your hands down and forward. Feel that push length through your side bodies. Hip creases draw up and back, and then maybe start to find some extension through your legs from there. Now, when you're ready, let an inhale lift your right leg to the sky, find your three-legged dog. As you exhale, bend your knee and open your hip. Think about encouraging your left hip really subtly towards the right side of the room. With a strong core, can you reach your right thigh bone towards the left side of the room? Take a nice big breath in, re-extend to your three-legged dog. As you exhale, knee to nose, shift forward and pull your thigh into your chest, driving into the earth through your hands. With three-legged dog, we inhale right leg up and back. And on your exhale, step your right foot forward in between your hands. Lower your left knee to the earth. You can decide to keep your back toes tucked or untuck them. And then either way, before you rise up, squeeze into the midline through your inner upper thighs. Press down through your legs, glutes and inner thighs strong. Then root to rise, Anjaneyasana, big breath in. You can use your exhale to find a lift through your low belly, the front of your pelvis. And think about your hips moving more forward than down. Yeah. From here, we're going to hook our thumbs overhead. So right thumb's going to hook over or behind your left. Think like reindeer antlers, so spark your fingers wide. And as you find that hook, a little bend to the elbows, you can start to pull. Imagine you're going to rip your thumbs apart so there's energy through your arms. On an inhale, think about lifting and lengthening ribcage away from your pelvis. And your exhale, find just a little baby side bend to the right. Good. As you find that pulling energy through your arms, you can start to bend through your right elbow, like you're pulling right elbow towards your right ribs. So imagine left hand's I don't want to go, and your right arm's trying to pull. So you get that big stretch, pressing left elbow to the sky. So what it looks like from the side is like this. Cool. Then we inhale up through center, rise and reach tall. Exhaling through your goddess arms, let your hands drape all the way down to the earth. Heading to our hamstring stretch, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, adjust left foot as much as you need, and then send length through both your legs. As you move towards extension through your legs, send energy down through your right foot. So imagine you're going to push down and almost a little forward through the sole of your right foot, as if you could drive your right foot through the floorboards all the way to the core of the earth. And then from here, start to bend into your front knee and step into a cross-legged forward fold, so left ankle behind your right. And just adjusting so the soles of both of your feet are grounded. Right, pinky toes do not need to be in alignment. We want a little micro bend at least through our left knee. Maybe a more generous bend through the knees, head heavy. If this is feeling just too much for the hamstrings too soon, traditional forward fold. So at least in my body, my left toes are about halfway up my right foot. So again, your left foot can be as far back as it needs to be. Keeping that little bit of bend in your knee, start to inhale towards a halfway lift, strong core. Maybe airplane your arms beside you. So inner thighs light up, strong legs for balance. Little back body activation. So you exhale, forward fold, dive down. We're going to circle sweep to stand, keeping the legs in that cross position. Just for now, we big breath into our Urdhva Hastasana. At the top, take your fingertips behind your head. Stay upright as you draw your front ribs in. And then keeping the front body hugging to back body, can you press your upper arm bones, your elbows back in space? From there, maybe start to use your shoulder blades to boost your heart up. And maybe let your chin lift, resting your head into your fingertips. Take a nice big breath in. and out. Good. As you inhale, bring yourself upright, and exhaling, hands to heart. Have a little bit of a funky transition here. We're going to bend into the knees a little bit, so we're like in this kind of funky cross-legged chair. Leaning into right foot, engage your core. Start to find a little flamingo through your left side. Good. Stepping back towards warrior one. Step back like you're going to a crescent first. Let your left tippy toes land, and then pivot your back heel down to the earth. Take a moment to adjust your feet if you need to. Energetically squaring your hips forward. Right. Take a breath in, reach your hands to the sky. On exhale, we're going to do a little reverse circle, sweep down to interlace our hands behind the back, right thumb on top of left. Start with your elbows bent. As you get strong through your core, think about squeezing your shoulder blades together. Feel your back body engage. Can you press your collarbones wide? Then maybe start to add some length through your arms. Take a breath in, puff your heart up, maybe lift your chin. And exhale, start to dive down towards the inside of your right leg for a gentle, humble warrior. Allow your head to be heavy, and then reach energy through the lengths of your arms all the way through to your knuckles. Big breath in. And exhale, release your hands to the earth. We're going to turn all 10 toes to the left, wide-legged forward fold. Just take one breath in. We're going to turn to the back of the room, low lunge. So bending into your left knee, all 10 toes pivot with you. Yeah. Plant your right palm to the earth and twist your left hand to the sky, twisted low lunge. Now option to stay right here, or finding a horizon lunge, pivot onto the pinky edges of both your feet. So the knife edges, flex your feet really actively, pulling your toes towards your knees. And then bring your hips forward and your heart back so they're in one plane. Working to kind of square the pelvis towards that long edge of your yoga mat. If you want to, you might start to dip your hips, reach your left hand towards the original top of your yoga mat. Big breath in. And on exhale, we're going to unwind to a high plank. The left foot steps back to join your right. Good. On your inhale, shift forward. Knees up or down, we lower slowly to the earth, lowering all the way to your belly. When you arrive, untuck your toes. We're going to find our way into our low cobra again. So find that same lengthening and activation of your legs like we practiced. Big breath in, strength of your spine floats you up. And then as you exhale, begin to find airplanes through your arms. So send your arms back beside you. Flip your thumbs wide, palms down. Think about drawing your pinky fingers up and in towards each other. And finding neutral through your neck. Can you feel the energy, the engagement through the back of your body along your spine? And take one more big breath in. Before you lower, bring your hands to frame your rib cage and then exhale, forehead towards the earth. Bending your way back to downward facing dog. You can take any transition you want, so you can move through child's pose, tabletop, cobra, up dog, or plank. And just take your time to find your way through your transition of choice, up and back to downward facing dog. Okay, once you arrive in your downward facing dog, inhale your right leg to the sky, so same leg lifts, right leg goes high. Exhale to bend your knee and open your hip. You can stay exactly as you are. If you're feeling like you're ready for a while, then step your right tippy toes to the earth behind you and open your heart to the ceiling for a breath in. I will also find our way back to our three-legged dog. Let your exhale return your right hand to the earth if you lifted it. Use your in-breath to lift your hips and reach your right leg high. Exhale, knee to nose, slowly shifting forward. We hold for inhale and stay for exhale. Three-legged dog, breathe your right leg up and back. And as you exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Get strong through your legs, checking that your feet are hips distance. Find that same inner upper thigh hug. Push through your feet, glutes strong, and then use your breath in, root to rise, high crescent. The top, notice where you can soften, maybe shoulders out of ears. We're going to hook our thumbs overhead again, so right thumb hooks behind left again. Find that little micro bend through the elbows. You can start to pull your thumbs apart, spark your fingers. We're going to stay at center this time, but take a nice big breath in. Think about lifting your ribs away from your hips. Big forward energy through left heel. And start to bend your elbows a couple inches. So you continue to pull through your thumbs and press your elbows wide. From there, maybe use your shoulder blades to boost your sternum forward and up. Good. Finding your little bit of a back bend. Take an inhale. Exhale, goddessing your arms. Let your hands drape down beside you. We're going to lean forward and sweep our hands overhead, reaching crescent. Big breath in. And then as you exhale, open to your warrior two. Good. Let your arms hang heavy for a second. Maybe shake them out because I know that's a big ask of the upper body. And then we'll start to inhale to reverse our warrior. Swim your right hand high. And your exhale, starting to find your side angle. Take it forward. Right, option for a half bind here. Maybe bring the back of your left hand to your low back and then bend at your wrist to press left shoulder and elbow back in space. Or if it's available, you can reach to catch your inner right thigh. Continue to encourage your left upper arm bone to the wall that's behind you. Good. With or without that half bind, we're going to inhale to reverse our triangle, lengthening through your right leg. Swim your right hand high. Your exhale, travel through star and into goddess, pivoting heels in, elbows wide. Yeah, can you use your low belly strength to lift the front hip bones up towards your front ribs? You may have to be a little bit higher in your squat to create that. You'll feel a nice engagement through your seat. We're going to send our arms out wide. Start with your palms facing down. We're going to play with some external, internal rotation. So start to externally rotate your left arm. You're going to flip your left palm up to the sky. And imagine you could then flip it, keep it going. Imagine you could press your left thumb all the way back down to the ground. We'll find internal rotation through our right arm. So start to turn your right thumb down to the earth. And as you feel the head of your right shoulder roll forward, keep it going as if you're going to flip your right thumb all the way to the ceiling. And then lean over to the left towards the front of your yoga mat. So big external through the left arm, internal through the right arm. Good. Inhale through your center. Switching it out as you exhale, bring right arm into external, left arm into internal. Really find the edges of that range of motion. Breathe and reach to the right. Good. As you're ready, you're going to bring it through center. And then bring both hands to your thighs. Again, inhale, opening chest. Exhale, dip your left shoulder across. Maybe look over your left shoulder. As you breathe in through center, you're going to dip your left shoulder across the midline and then maybe look over your right shoulder. Good. Bring it to center, breath in. And wide-legged forward fold. Pivot your toes forward and tip down towards the earth. Take a really big breath through your nose. And maybe an open mouth exhale out. You're starting to bend into your left knee, low lunge to the front of the room. Yeah. And then planting through your palms, three-legged dog, lift your left leg to the sky, inhale. Relax your head as you bend your knee and open your hip with breath out. Three-legged dog, inhale to re-extend. Just for your exhale, shifting forward, knee towards nose, really drive down through your strong arms into the earth. And then three-legged dog, inhale, left leg goes high. Place your left foot forward between your hands, maybe give it a boost. And then start to release your right knee to the ground. Again, decide if you want your back toes tucked or untucked. Squeeze through your inner upper thighs like you're hugging a yoga block between them. Push through your left foot. Kick down either through your right shin bone, or if your right toes are tucked, the ball of your right foot. Can you square your hips, so plugging left thigh bone back, right hip hugs forward, and with all of that, then we root to rise. So much happening just through the lower body. Softening through the shoulders. And we find that lifting up and in of the low core. You can push through your left foot to kind of facilitate that lift at the front of the bowl of your pelvis. And think about maintaining that as you kind of guide your hips just like the most micro bit forward. From here, we hook our thumbs overhead and then start to find that little bend in your elbows, pulling your thumbs apart. Spark your fingers. A little up, down through the chin. Shoulders are still out of ears, though. We take a breath. Maybe floating rib cage up towards the sky a little bit. Baby side bend to your left. You keep breathing here. And think about your right arm being resistance. Maybe start to bend your left elbow and pull your left elbow down just a couple inches. It might not go very far. It doesn't need to. Yeah. From there, we're going to inhale, arms go high. Release the grip and exhale through goddess arms. Letting your hands release all the way down to the earth. Moving to our hamstring stretch, our cat lunge. Tuck your back toes. Lifting back knee. Adjust your feet if needed and lengthen through your legs. And again, really consider energy here. Can we drive energy down and forward through the four corners of our left foot? Back heel can be reaching to the earth or high. Maybe do a little up, down through your right heel. Think about plugging left thigh bone into your pelvis as you continue to push your left foot through the floorboards. And then begin to bend into your left knee. Cross-legged forward fold, right ankle steps behind. Okay, soften and dive down, take a breath. Now keeping a little micro bend at least, super strong rooting through your feet. Inhale towards a halfway lift, airplaning your arms, finding that balance challenge. As you exhale, forward fold. At this time we circle sweep, maybe keeping the legs as they are. Hands go to the sky. As you breathe out, take your fingertips behind your head. So I have my fingertips like pretty wide. Yeah. And then you're going to think about keeping the front body integrated to back body. So just try not to flare the rib cage open to put unnecessary pressure into your low back. So front body is hugged in. Press your elbows and upper arm bones back in space. You can also think about squeezing your shoulder blades together. And then think about your shoulder blades as like a platter to boost your heart up to the sky. It doesn't have to go very far. Maybe let your head rest into your fingertips a little bit using the weight of your skull to create that opening through your shoulders. Allow an inhale to bring you upright. Exhale, hands to heart. Maybe a little shoulder shrug. Start to bend your knees so you're sitting into this kind of funky baby cross-legged chair. Shifting into your left foot, start to flamingo your right foot up and in. You're just going to take a slow step back to find Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Rotating your back heel down, working your hips energetically square towards the front. And as you find your Warrior 1, hands go high, deep inhale. Reverse circle sweep, sweeping the arms wide and down to interlace behind us, left thumb on top of right. Maybe resting your hands on your pelvis to start. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, press your collarbones across your chest. And then from there, begin to maybe send some length and energy down through your arms. Perhaps you inhale, puff your heart up high. And then as you exhale, diving down towards a gentle, humble warrior. Melting towards that space on the inside of your left leg. Try to relax your head here. Take a breath as you punch energy through your knuckles, creating space between shoulders and ears. Then exhale, release your arms to the earth and turn all 10 toes to the right, wide-legged forward fold. Maybe take a little side-to-side moment here, bending one knee, then the other. Let's find a big breath in together through the nose, nice and full. Let's take an open mouth exhale. Okay, we'll continue our journey to the back of our yoga mat. So bend into your right knee. All 10 toes turn to the back. Okay, adjust your feet as needed, so hips distance apart, and then plant down with your left palm. You're going to twist your right hand to the sky. Now you could stay right here, back knee could also lower to the ground even, or start to pivot onto the knife edges of both your feet. You may just scooch your right foot back in space a little bit. Strong flex of your feet, so think about pulling your toes up towards your knees. Encourage your hips a little forward in space and your heart a little bit back in space. So again, you're like a Pop-Tart in a toaster oven. Maybe sink down with your hips and reach your right hand towards the original top of your yoga mat, towards your left foot. You're going to start to unwind into your high plank position. Right foot steps back to meet your left. Find a strong, intentional plank, and then let your inhale glide you forward. Knees up or down, exhale to the earth with control. At the bottom, take an inhale to a low cobra. On your exhale, start to find your airplane arms. Check in to find neutral through your neck. Strength along your spine. And then maybe start to lift your legs into your locust. Again, prioritizing length, and then midline squeeze, and then from there going towards height. You take 2 to 3 more breaths. Slow and steady with your breath in, and slow and steady with your breath out. And give it one more inhale maybe. Before you lower, bring your hands to frame your rib cage. Exhale everything to the earth. As we did before, you'll find your way to downward facing dog. So maybe you go through your up dog, filling the space you've been creating for your heart. Maybe you want to plank. Perhaps a little child's pose or tabletop moment would feel good. As you arrive into your downward facing dog, super strong through your hands. Feel that firm connection on the inner edge of your palm between thumb and pointer finger. Hug your forearms and your upper arm bones to center, and find just the slightest bit of external rotation of your upper arm bones, like you're wrapping your triceps down towards the earth. Once you have that, inhale left leg high. And exhale, bend your knee and open your hip. And this is a perfect place to stay. If it's interesting to you to step into your wild thing for a moment, bring your left tippy toes to the earth. And rotate your heart open to the sky. Maybe try to relax your head. Big breath in. On exhale, begin your journey back towards three-legged dog. Breathing out, land your left hand. Inhale, hips high, left leg to the sky. Breath out, bring your left knee to your nose, shift forward. We hold for our inhale. And we stay for exhale. Three-legged dog, reach your left leg tall. And then with intention, step your left foot forward between your hands. Adjusting your feet. Find that inner upper thigh activation. Feel your lower thigh bones, like the lower half of your thigh bones pressing slightly energetically wide. And then slowly start to root to rise from there. Good. At the top, take a moment to adjust, to settle, to notice where you can soften. And then think about your right heel here. I recently have been really enjoying the sensation of like my back bend starts at my back heel when I'm in my lunge. So right heel's high and in forward energy. And I feel how that translates all the way up through my leg and through my spine. Yeah? Hands are going to go tall. Hook your left thumb behind your right. Find your reindeer antlers. Little bend to the elbows as you pull your arms apart. Take a breath in. Float your rib cage up. Again, think big, strong energy through your right leg. And exhale, bend your elbows maybe a little bit more. Good. Take one more breath in. Maybe shoulder blades pressing your heart forward to more of that back bend. And exhale, goddessing your arms. Tip forward to your reaching crescent, becoming like a 45-degree angle in your body. Reach your hands overhead. Just one inhale. And then warrior two. As you exhale, peel open. Right away, reverse your warrior. Swim your left hand up and back. And exhale to your side angle position. As you arrive in your side angle, taking a moment to breathe here, option for your half bind. In the half bind, can we still find that containment of front ribs pulling to back body? And then maybe find that little twist of your sternum to the sky. With or without the half bind, we're going to inhale to reverse our triangle, lift and lengthen. And then as you exhale, you're going to move through your star pose. And then into your goddess, pivot your heels in, elbows wide. Front ribs drawing in, find that lift to the front of your pelvis and send your wings wide. We're going to find that same kind of like tug of war. So starting to internally rotate your left arm. Externally rotate your right arm, so right palm is flipping up, left thumb turning down, reach towards the front of the room. Breathe through center. And then switch. Rotate your left palm up, external, internally rotate your right arm, reach the back of the room. And through center. Hands to your thighs. Breathe length through your torso. On your breath out, dip your right shoulder across the midline. Perhaps you peek over your left shoulder. Let your inhale return you to center. And just once in the opposite direction, left shoulder dips in, look over your right shoulder. And we'll inhale to the midline, wide-legged forward fold, adjust your toes forward and dive down. Take a breath in, and a breath out. Bending into your right knee, turn all 10 toes forward, a low lunge to the front. And then find your way to a three-legged dog as you inhale. But then just step your right foot down, downward facing dog with your exhale. Heels high, breathing in. We're going to ripple forward towards a high plank, so cat spine, tuck in, round. Front ribs knitting, back of the heart puffs to the sky. As you arrive towards your high plank, bending your knees, think cow spine back to downward facing dog. Big spinal wave. Good. Take 1 to 2 more like that. Cat spining forward, feeling your front ribs hug up and in. And then bending your knees, cow spine up and back, tailbone leads the way. Now perhaps a third cycle. And then child's pose, knees to the earth. Settle your hips back to your heels, sink into the embrace of the earth. Taking a slow inhale and a slow exhale. If you'd like a little sip of water, maybe grab a sip of water. We're going to take one last little standing balance moment, and then we will bring it to the back body. So after a couple of breaths, just to slow things down, maybe a little bit of hydration, we're going to meet back in our downward facing dog. We'll take right side and left side of our standing balance. We will have, one more little belly down moment for our bow, and then we flip it to the back body. So, downward facing dog. No rush to get there. We'll take a big breath in, push the earth away, lift your heels high. Exhale, bend your knees, step, or take a big hop to the top, forward fold. Take a moment to hang out in your forward fold, maybe even taking ragdoll. Head heavy, upper body heavy, melting across your thighs. And then as you're ready, inhale towards a halfway lift, drawing shoulders out of the ears. And exhale towards a baby chair, so just gently bend your knees. You can bring hands to heart right away if you want to. You always have the option to reach your arms, but I feel like what we've done today is kind of sneaky, spicy for the shoulders, so my shoulders are ready to release. Hands to heart works. We're going to shift our energy into our left foot. Start to flamingo, right heel up and in. Get real strong through your belly. Maybe if you want to, slide back into a little spicy flamingo. So you don't have to move your right thigh bone back very far. Think hamstring curl, heel to seat. Keep your core strong. Right knee's moving back just a couple inches. We'll keep the hamstring curl as we inhale to rise up into a no-handed dancer's pose. Keeping your left hand where it's at, exhale to swim your right hand back to your dancer. Possible, finding that external rotation through your right arm, so your palm catches the instep of your right foot. Now can we hug to the midline, inner upper thighs squeeze to center, shoulder blades draw together. Lifting through your heart, maybe a kick up and back into your right hand. As you maintain that up dog energy through your chest, you might start to hinge forward at your left hip crease. You steady your breath, focus your gaze. Maybe find a little bend through your left knee for stability. And slow and strong, can we start to release towards an airplane pose, keeping the back of the body engaged so our heart doesn't dip beyond the horizon line towards the earth, staying proud to the chest, elevated at the chest. Good. Start to bend into your left knee, use your strong core. One-legged mountain, you're going to bring your right knee all the way up with you, just completing that circle. As you exhale, right foot meets your left hands to heart. Maybe do a little shoulder shrug in each direction. It's nice and simple. We're just going to find second side. Little bend through the knees. This can be like the tiniest little bend through your knees. If you want to go into a deep chair, you can do that too. Right foot's going to take on our weight. Engage through your center. Thinking about using your core engagement to lengthen through your low back. Flamingo. Left heel pulls up and in. Continuing to lift your front hip bones. Maybe scooch left thigh bone back for that little spicy flamingo. Again, you don't have to go very far. You're just looking for your left hamstring to light up. We'll breathe up into our no-handed dancer. Tall through your torso. Exhale, take a little backstroke with your left arm to catch your left foot. Squeeze through your inner upper thighs. And draw the shoulder blades towards each other. You can always stay right here, focus on deepening your breath. Or once your breath is flowing nice and steady, maybe begin to kick up and back. Up dog your chest, and then tip into your dancer pose. Give it 1 to 2 breaths. You can find a little micro bend through your right knee or a bigger bend. With care, can we slowly release to airplane, trying to avoid the slingshot? Just noticing how it feels on this side. Bend into your right knee. Use your strong center. One-legged mountain. Rise up with your left knee, just a full inhale. Staying tall, left foot just meets your right, hands to heart as you exhale. Maybe close down your eyes. Big breath in, maybe a shoulder shrug. Open mouth, exhale, and be shrug in the opposite direction. Then just soften your knees and spill forward to your forward fold. Take a little halfway lift as you inhale. Good. And then step back through a high plank as you exhale. Knees up or down, big breath here. Then lower to your belly as you empty that breath. Just start in your belly down Shavasana. So any arm variation, forehead to center or a cheek to the earth. And if you'd like to just stay here and breathe, you can also bend your knees and do windshield wipers. Use this as an opportunity to reset a little intentional recovery moment. Otherwise, if you'd like to go to your belly down bow, start to bend your heels into your seat. Reach back to catch your feet. And then before you go anywhere else, just let your forehead rest to the ground. Draw your thigh bones towards center like you're squeezing a yoga block between them, so that same inner upper thigh engagement. Hug your shoulder blades towards each other. Then use an inhale to kick with your legs first up and back. As you exhale, keep breathing, back body strong. hugging into the center line. Find 3 cycles of breath. And when you are ready, an inhale in and exhale to lower. Just pausing in that belly down shavasana, or again, you can do like a hip wiggle or windshield wipers, whatever feels good. And then today we're just gonna flip to the back body, so nothing graceful or fancy. Just flip over like a little sardine roll. Adjust as needed. Once you're on your back body, bring your knees to your chest. A little rock from side to side. Slowly starting to transition towards any variation of happy baby. The hands either catching the fronts of your knees, perhaps your ankles, the insides or outsides of your feet, or maybe you hook your big toes. You can use your upper body energy to kind of pull down, to root your head, shoulders, and hips to the earth. And then find a little bit of opposition by pressing up with your feet. From that push and pull, feel a sense of grounding through your back body. Rooting back into our gratitude for this able body. Love and appreciation for what our bodies are capable of, their resilience, and all they do each day to move us through every moment of our human experience. Take one more breath in. Now, keeping this kind of happy baby orientation, we're going to find like a happy baby butterfly. So start to bend your knees and bring just like your big toes to touch. Your heels don't have to touch. Just big toes towards each other. You can adjust how you're holding your legs if you need to. Letting your knees go a little wide. Then we'll start to release our feet up to the sky, legs up pose. If you wanted to send your legs up a wall, you could also take that. Otherwise, from here, if it's available to you and you'd like to, go towards your plow pose and or your shoulder stand. Maybe a little boost, pushing through the backs of your arms to send your feet either to the sky or your toes overhead. Again, other options are staying in that legs up position at a wall or just in space. Let's take 3 slow breaths. When you're ready to release from your inversion, go really slow and gentle, bending your knees as you lower. Your knees bent, land your feet to the earth, and then walk your feet a little bit wider than hips distance, letting both knees tuck over to the right. Pausing with knees to the right in your pinwheel twist for a breath. Slowly inhale your knees to center. And exhale to migrate your knees to the left, to the opposite side. And you'll return to the midline with your next breath in. Maybe gather knees to chest one more time. Maybe curl your forehead or your nose up to your knees, taking a deep breath. And then as you're ready, start to release everything long to find your way into your shavasana, your final relaxation. Maybe adjust your shoulder blades slightly beneath the back of your heart space to open your chest. And do a little left to right with your chin and arriving at neutral. Maybe take one more deep, expansive inhale. And perhaps an open mouth exhale to let that breath go. Start to bring your awareness back towards your breath. Maybe feeling the beat of your heart in your chest. The energy at that seat of love and compassion within your body. Perhaps setting the intention to take this practice of self-love while in process with you. If it feels true to bring hands to heart center, you can gather your hands to your heart. You can stay exactly as you are, just giving yourself complete permission to continue to rest and sink into the earth. Just pausing in gratitude of this practice, in gratitude and appreciation of our bodies and our breath, and this time that we get to spend together moving and breathing as one. So let's take a collective breath all together. Nice deep inhale in. When it feels right, just open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. Yoga always provide us with a path to compassion. And may our practices serve as our teachers, guiding us to live with greater authenticity and to love more deeply each day. Thank you so much for being here, and namaste.